Francesco, welcome to the show. And how did you find Bitcoin and how has it changed your life?
Hello, Lawrence. Hello, everyone. Nice to be here with you today. Yes, I'm the CEO and co-founder of BitVault. You can check on the bitvault.com site. It's a breakthrough wallet. It's a new idea, a new kind of protection for our assets in terms of Bitcoin. So I got into Bitcoin in 2017. Essentially, because casually, I had a friend who was into IT, was a webmaster, coming for another investment. So he said, "Oh, you're good to," because I had bought Facebook like $50 a few years before, and they say, "Oh, you're good in picking stocks," and also I had purchased the commercial place, and we were talking about how leveling it up. So he was in this kind of deal with me, and they told me, well, take a look at this Bitcoin. And he knew about that because he was a webmaster, obviously, he was an IT guy. And they say, show me the chart. And as soon as I saw the chart, I was blown away. I mean, I saw a kind of power in that price movements and those levels of resistance, which I've never seen before, really never. So I said, wow, that's looks huge. Let me, like, and then from there, I started to understand what is the blockchain, how it works. And then I purchased it at kind of $4,000, $5,000. That was so October, I think, 2017. Then coming from traditional stock market, real estate, and then it doubled up, triple up, and then of course I sold because I thought, wow, it's a double up. So where do you want to go? More than this is crazy, you know? It's just like so. Then a few persons in the investment world I knew, I was following on Twitter, Americans, most of the people that I knew that they were good. Right? They say, oh, Bitcoin is dead. It's dead in 2018. So I didn't take it into consideration anymore. And then casually, I mean, I was keeping an eye at it. In March 2019, I all of a sudden saw the price dip into $3,000, and I say, wow. I bought it 1 year before at 5,000. Now it's 3,000. It's a massive opportunity. It's 50% off. Let's buy. And from there, I purchased a Bitcoin and never sold. I never sold before because I started to understand the power of the halving, basically. So the increased scarcity fascinated me, and I found an Italian educator who put forward an amazing blog post in Italian and was explaining the power of the supply shock. And that one as an investor blew me away. So I got in from the investment side. I thought there was no asymmetric bet like Bitcoin ever. And I kept accumulating Bitcoin as much as I could. And to date, I still holding and never sold and never gonna sell. 2019, 2020, 21, I was holding, studying, and then buying. But then I started to experience a bit with the mining. So I started a startup. I wanted to start a startup. I was projecting about in the mining sector, something which had to do with some DCA into mining, some idea I had. And by doing that, I was looking for investors in this mining field. So I came across talking to different people until a few, I think 1 year ago, I came across, I mean, I have dodged several scams, but I came across a scam which was difficult to dodge. I dodged it, but in hindsight, I don't even know how, because this scam was like in short, was an organized gang which came to you telling you that they would given you a loan if you have deposit equity on a wallet on your phone. So you downloaded the iPhone, this wallet, and you order your 12 words, you deposit your Bitcoin, and they give you the loan and they transfer it to the same wallet. So I thought you can think, might think, how can I, with a Apple Wallet software downloaded on my phone, I own the 12 words, the seed, and how can they take the funds? So it's not risk, right? Well, that's what I thought. I didn't trust this wallet, this particular wallet, not because I never heard of it before, but it was on the Apple Store, so that's a risk because it's impossible to detect, you know. So I didn't actually go through with the deal. I said, no, it's not for me, thank you. But in my mind, I was very fearful because I didn't understand the intention of these people. And that was February 2023 and January, February. So I had changed the house. I mean, I went abroad, so it wasn't very, very, it wasn't, I wasn't very, I felt I wasn't at risk, but I didn't understand what they wanted to do. I mean, would they have liked me to transfer the funds on this wallet to beat me to death and take the funds out? Or would they have engineered a bug to siphon my funds out? But the second option, it wasn't an option for me because I downloaded from, I should have downloaded from the Apple Store. So in my mind, for many months, February, March, until July, when I found the truth, I thought that was the option one. They would have me to fund my wallet with my Bitcoin and then beat me again and they start with violence. That's what I thought because there was no other option, right? Yeah, until I then kind of forgot about it. Until July last year when I came across a piece of article saying that this particular wallet had a bug from January to February 2023, and then it was fixed. But this bug allowed many people likely to lose their funds. So what was my mistake back then is that not to think that the wallet shouldn't have been trusted in any circumstances whatsoever because it wasn't open source. So if I had thought that, but still, even if you think about that, still difficult to believe because we have this brand in our mind, the Apple iPhone, Apple Store is secure. So if you say Android, no, that's another thing, but the Apple is secure. So that was, in hindsight, what I should have thought. But when you are in the situation, you cannot think that somebody is trying to scam you by having exploding an unknown bug on a major wallet, because it was a major wallet on the Apple Store. And I mean, I saved my small details. I mean, I saw them and they were wearing cheap clothes, saying they were dealing diamonds, then having like tin made rings, things like that. It made me spot. But I was lucky. So, but I was scared for 6 months. I mean, I thought that could have been a kind of matter of physical bias. So then there I realized that we all are at risk. We all are at risk of physical violence, are at risk of bugs and hacks. I mean, that happened. So I took it a bit like a mission, like I have to find a way to offset all of this. This is not how Bitcoin holder should hold his funds. Self-custody is great, is right, we have to do it, of course, but we have to do it in a way which is not risky. I mean, and these two risks are will always be there because somebody can come to you and either gently or less gently asking you to hand over your seed phrase, right? Because if he knows that you are a big whale, he knows, and there's nothing you can do. You cannot tell him take the decoy wallet with 0.1 and think that he's going to believe it. It's not how it works. And also, you are at risk of hacks if there's in swapping. There is not that, but also some cross scripting, some weird thing where you are not that's tech savvy and do download the wrong firmware. You download something wrong and you click a link you shouldn't click. So we are all at risk because self-custody, the truth is not at this stage like a bank. And while it's better than a bank, because a bank has the limit of withdrawals, the bank has it's not that as that. If you think that when you walk into a bank, there are often signs stating that the bank vault is time delayed. There is a time delay. So when the attackers, the thief goes there, he doesn't even try because he knows that the employee cannot open the vault, and that's it. That's the end of the story. And then I thought we should just reverse this technology and employ it in a self-custody way. And that's what I came up as a technology with BitVault, with a solution where you have a bank's vault with a timed padlock into your wallet. So you hold the seed, and you also have the convenience of a bank timed vault. If you do that, even if the attacker knows you hold the 10 Bitcoin, you try to hand over the decoy wallet, he just doesn't believe you. That's fine, because you just are transparent. You tell him the truth. The app shows that you have 10 Bitcoin, but it also shows that there is the time lock, right? So yes, it's either he believes you or he believes you. And he can order you to start the transaction, but it will take 2 weeks, or you set your time delay to be broadcasted. So you have all of the time. When a secret notification leaves the BitVault wallet, somebody can recover the seed and abort the transaction. Cannot even kidnap you, because this person is going to look after you, look for you. But this is what was missing, in my opinion. Is a solution which also, to an hacker who gains access to your device and tries to extract funds, cannot be connected forever. If he gains access for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, but your time delay is 12 hours, you just won. You cannot extract the funds. You have just to observe the right management of the funds. You have to dedicate a certain amount on your vault, a certain amount on your intermediary wallet, a certain amount on your Lightning Network wallet, and you're set. But what we offer to the public is this banking grade technology and security, which is maybe the only good things of the banks, but we put into self-custody. So you actually can be your own bank, as we say, safely. So I hope I explained.
Well, it's very good. It's very interesting, actually, how you came up with the concept, actually, from a personal experience from yourself, what I mean? To take that personal experience now into a solution for the whole community. Yeah. So what do you think is the biggest security threats, do you think, facing Bitcoin holders today? And how have these threats evolved over the past couple of years?
Rina, I think the biggest security threat is not the physical attack right now. For this stage, for a matter of a price, still relatively low, 60,000. But if we think when it's going to be 500,000, 700,000, then that will be an increasingly more evident risk. At this stage, the major risks are, of course, the hacks, but not because the attacker is too good, but because the user makes mistakes, but not me and you. We will also, but it's more difficult. But newbies, I mean, Bitcoin going up by going up a price, we'll have more and more users who know nothing, and these people will lose funds. They are more at risk. So I will be very happy to provide to them a solution where they cannot make mistakes. It's not like in the early days where these things didn't exist, but now you really want to offer to them a bulletproof solution, something where it's like a bank. It's a no-brainer. They can just use it. They cannot mess up, and they're not at risk, more important. So my concern is that hacks and the user errors are still the major concern in these days.
So you reckon digital attacks are more at the moment rather than physical attacks? Yeah.
Yes, digital attacks in terms of user mistakes, user error are still the major threat in terms of loss of funds because it correlates with the fact that these users will know nothing as soon as the price rises, and they will try to serve custody, and they will of course click to that wrong link. But our solution, BitVault, stays on the blockchain. So the time delay is not dictated by software, which can be from to a bug, to be hacked as well. The time delay, the security is given by the blockchain structure of the wallet. The wallet has native time locks, so the whole wallet is time locked. It means that the blockchain Bitcoin guarantees for its safety. And that's the major shift in terms of cybersecurity, let's say.
Okay, great. And we have all types of listeners that listen to our show. So just for some newbies as well, for new people, can you explain the benefits of multi-sig, which is multi-signature, and time delay transactions for enhancing Bitcoin security? Yeah. So we have multi-sig and then we have the time delay.
Yes, I mean, time delay is something which currently already exists. There are easy to use wallet. We were talking with other Bitcoin players before. Like there is also now a mobile app called Teia.us, where you can just set up your multi-sig wallet in your phone. That works very well. But I mean, the problem is that the best practice is that not only you have your multi-sig wallet, but you also spread your keys in 3 different geolocations. This way, if the attacker comes to you, you can have just 1 key, but you need 2 of the 3 keys to move the funds. However, this can be not enough to counteract the attack, because if you tell to the attacker who knows in advance you hold a certain amount of Bitcoin, you cannot, and you tell him you have the second key, you live in Dublin, you have the second key in New York, he will find the attacker will find it difficult to believe that you don't have a copy of your second key in your basement, because we all in his mind want to have a control on our funds, and he is not guaranteed, I believe. If he doesn't believe you, then you are in big trouble, because many bad things, and you don't want to be in that situation. So the security there is, but there isn't with the multiple keys in different geolocation. There is the security ideally, but there isn't a certainty that is going to believe you. For this reason, you need BitVault, because with this wallet, it's transparent. I mean, there is a time lock, and it doesn't matter whether or not he trusts you with your second key located who knows where. So I advise, I mean, the truth with self-custody is that every amount of Bitcoin relative to the personal wealth needs a different kind of security. If you hold your net worth is say $1 million, and you hold $5,000 in Bitcoin, maybe a software wallet will be enough. If you hold 20,000, maybe you want to have a ledger or another hardware wallet. But if you hold more than $50,000 to $100,000, which is 5 to 10%, 20% to 200,000 of your net worth, you want to definitely have a multi-sig. And also, talking about the multi-sig, which is the solution I prefer personally. I think for everyone. I mean, now there is this Theia wallet, you can use it just in an easy way. I suggest to, and also informed person suggest, technical person, just to increase the difficulty to mess up with the keys recovery. You just have to make a copy of one of the 3 keys and position it in a vault, for instance, in a bank or in a private vault. This way, even if you lose both of the 2 keys, you still have one backup copy you can recover. So my ideal setup would be to have the 3 keys in 3 different geolocations. Until a BitVault doesn't come out, because we are still coding the bit. But we had the 3 keys in 3 different geolocations, plus a backup copy of one of these 3 keys in a vault, where you pay for. It doesn't cost much, $100 per year, $150. That's more or less. But that changes everything. There are also solutions like Casa.com or Unchained, which I think Unchained is the best, where you have your web app, where you connect to your device and they prepare the multi-sig for you, and they keep the map for you, because the multi-sig you need also the map. It's not enough you have the 3 keys, you need also a map to recover your seed, and if you lose the map, you lose everything. So it's as important as having the 3 keys. So the future, at this point, as soon as the prices of Bitcoin rise, it means that more and more people will be wealthier and wealthier in Bitcoin, and this leads automatically to the affirmation of the multi-sig as a dominant solution in the foreseeable future, because it's in a natural state of order of things. So if the price rises, more people will get wealthier, more people need to secure it more and more with the more effective solution. I think that with the BitVault, we set the industry standard, the final solution in self-custody, security-wise. After BitVault, which can be integrated in any kind of wallet, BitVault can be integrated into Ledger, into the Unchained solution, or into the Bitbox, into Casa. We integrate this technology. We create a bank's vault into any kind of existing wallet. This way, the person cannot, it doesn't have to change its setup, but he is still protected against every kind of threat. And he really doesn't need the bank anymore, at least for security. And that's a game changer. That's what we need to really feel people thoughtless and be able to face the self-custody security problem in a smoother, happier way. Therefore, buy more Bitcoin, because if I think about the first days, I was really scared where to store the seed, where in a bank vault or in your fridge, where do you want to put it? And but if you know that you don't have this risk with the multi-sig, because it's time locked, so it alerts you when a transaction tries to get initiated. You have all of the time who looks after you to just abort the transaction. That's it. You don't lose the funds. That's a game changer, honestly. So I really wish to see us be integrated and become an industry standard, because once we become an industry standard in the wallet security, at that point, no attacker would even attempt. He will just waste his time. I mean, nobody goes to rob a bank anymore. Nobody goes to rob into self-custody holders, because there is no way they can succeed. So their risk, their incentive of being jailed, it doesn't match with the possibility of getting richer. So it's a lose-lose situation for them. So, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Amazing. And let's talk a little bit about open source. Yeah. So how important do you think open source software in the context of Bitcoin security is? And are there any challenges or limitations associated with a fully open sourced or non-custodial solution? Now, yours probably isn't open source, so.
No, I mean, I think, as I said before, given my experience, what we can infer, learn from my experience is that, I mean, it's very easily. I know there are great products there which are out there 90% open source and then 10% no, but I wouldn't go for it. So it's either a solution, a wallet or whatever software is open source or cannot be trusted. I mean, this is a linear equation, in my opinion. There isn't any other possibility. I saw with my own eyes, closest source wallet, even if it was one of the most known wallets, still had the bug. And who did the bug? An intern? We don't know. A very skilled hacker from Russia? We don't know. But the result is that could not be trusted. So open source is vital for self-custody. Is a pillar and shouldn't be questioned at all. BitVault is going to be open source, fully open source from day one. And honestly, there are different licenses where you can open source on what you can open source a software product. There are the MIT licenses, there are the Apache licenses. We're going to use an Apache license, but you have plenty of solutions out there. Regarding competition, which is the major problem for issuers, you can say that there are Apache 2.0 license is a great solution also for developers, because protects your rights in case of external use of the software. In BitVault, when it's going to be launched with the beta and also in the future, it's going to be fully open source on GitHub. Then there are two configurations. It's going to be released under Apache 2.0 license. Then there are two configurations of it. One is where it is a convenience service which cosigns the transaction. It's self-hosted by the user. Of course, the user should be a bit skilled to do that, or managed by BitVault. But the convenience service is not a threat, because if it doesn't comply, the user can still move the funds. So the convenience service is just a service which applies a timestamp. So if the user wants to utilize BitVault in a self-hosted mode, he can do that for free. He can build his own product. We give the code. He can self-host it. That's really pristine. He can do that. But if like a normal user wants to have help and wants somebody to manage his convenience service, given that there is no risk in having convenience service managed by somebody else, because if it doesn't comply, you can still move the funds out. So it's just a service. In that case, there will be a price for it. But that facilitates the life of a user or the holder. So the philosophy behind of self-custody or behind the open source should be, in my opinion, that if you're good enough to do it, if you're skilled and they want to do it for your own purpose, you can do it for free. It's an open source license, right? But if you need help, or you're not a dev that good to do it on your own, and you need help, you pay for it. And that's where the license clause applies for these users who are not tech savvy and need somebody to manage the solution. That's how I see open source. The Apache 2.0 is great on this. It's all the license, but has this possibility and this clause, which is, in my opinion, fair, solves the problem of the cost in terms of the contrast between open source and the business perspective of a startup.
Right. Yeah. And then regarding how significant are human errors in the overall security risks associated with Bitcoin? You know, people doing silly things like digitalizing their passwords and stuff like that. What steps can individuals take to minimize these risks?
Well, you shouldn't digitize a password. That's for sure. You shouldn't type a password on your computer anytime. Not even if the Apple CEO comes back and tells you to do so. No, don't do that. So you should just write down a piece of paper and then immediately etch it on a steel plate. And if you have a multi-sig, just have 3 steel plates plus a 4th steel plate where you do a backup copy and position that steel plate into your vault for additional security. I see many other ways where people can screw up. I mean, there are countless actually ways which people can make mistakes. The advice is to study, but of course, the higher the price of Bitcoin goes, the more people are going to have in the space. So the less prone the average of people has to study, because ideally, if they were an adopter, maybe they are not that passionate, they just see it as an investment, and then they want to buy this digital gold, which is good, but they can make mistakes. There are 2 possibilities. I mean, there are risks also in software, doing software updates, because there is a possibility that I don't know, some people feel safer by not upgrading version of the software. Some people want to upgrade. That's still not very clear what's the best approach. It depends, I think, on the legal clauses of any wallet jurisdiction, where the wallet it can be a producer can be held accountable in this regard. So in my opinion, you should also need to study the jurisdiction of the software house which provides the Bitcoin wallet, because if the latest update is not as secure, then who is responsible for that? Maybe the update 2 years before is 100% secure, so you think you upgrade, you just but in the case, of course, the software house will be responsible, but can you claim against that as a fund to recover if it's too young and doesn't have? I personally tend not to upgrade, to be honest. I tend to leave the software version of the firmware how it was, because I don't think at this stage companies have the financial stability on Bitcoin to cover all the losses in case they screw up with the software update. So I better keep the software update, which has been demonstrated to be safe for many years or months. And also, it's their duty to alert you if they find the dark web, or they find any bug, or even in the previous version of the software. So if the software house doesn't do that, they are accountable. So that's the same thing, in my opinion. given that the Bitcoin space is not that mature right now, there are more drawbacks on updating the software sadly than not updating at the moment. But I might be wrong, and do your research. That's just how I think about the space now. But things are going to change. With Bitcoin $1 million, this major software house will have the funds to be held accountable in case of something wrong with the software they release. So just if you're a newbie, you get into this space now, you wanted to experiment, I mean, just go for the major exchanges, for the major wallet issuers, go for Ledger, go for BitBox, easy to use, trusted, and open source. I personally like BitBox because it's fully open source, double chip, and I think they are very transparent and look into the security from the open source developer standpoint. Then that's what I suggest.
Very good, very good. So I'm looking ahead. What can you see like emerging technologies or practices do you think will play out crucially in the future? Yeah, for Bitcoin security in the next few years. You know, what do you think yourself be good?
Yeah, I mean, with BitVault, we have closed the gap to the banks. We have to acknowledge this. So I would like our solution to spread as quickly as possible. And from a security standpoint, you're mainly safe because I mean you cannot lose your fund either by physical attack or by hack, and that's major milestone. After that, there is another risk. The only risk remaining is if you lose your keys. So that's also security because you can harm yourself by losing 2 of your 3 keys. That's why at this stage it's better to have a backup copy of your multi-sig into Vault. That's what I advise for now. I foresee emerging technologies which can also protect you against the loss of the bottle keys. That is going to come. And then that moment, self-custody. Now, self-custody, let's imagine a world post-BitVault is 100% secure from a standpoint of personal security and physical security and digital security. But it's not under 10% secure in terms of loss of the keys. I mean, if you are guilty, if the user is guilty 100% when you lose your keys, because you should pay attention. I mean, you should take care of it. It's everything for you. You succeed. In that case, we still need the last step, which is a trustless key recovery system. And once we have found that, then there will be no differentiation between non-custodial and custodial, because everything will be non-custodial. We could use banks to hold the quorum of the keys, some portions, 1 or 2, but the user will always be in control. And that moment, that's where you will have the pure Bitcoinization. You will have people seeing that solution is superior Bitcoin against anything else. Baby steps, but we are really launched towards a very bright future. I think both in terms of price and technological advancements. Also, privacy is being enhanced. Now there is the ARC protocol on top of Lightning Network, which works. I mean, Lightning Network is the language, then you have the ARC and other protocols which are going to be born, where you can even more privately transact. And so what is coming out, what is stemming from Bitcoin is a garden of opportunities and of features which are getting more and more beautiful and effective, and as time goes by. And we can see it from now we're talking a bit about security. Then our solution will enable something else. Then there will be more privacy with the ARC protocol and other protocols. Then there will be some possibility to build the financial infrastructure on top of Bitcoin. I mean, I hope this is not a channel of Ethereum hodler, because we are seeing that clearly seeing that what was thought as trustless or decentralized or whatever is miserably failing. I mean, after proof of stake, which makes little no sense, you should be stupid to believe in proof of stake. There's no sense. I mean, you want to believe in a system where you stake the most, has more power. Is this a democracy? Is this a consensus? Come on. I mean, this is being shown, the writing were on the wall, but it's been shown in real time. Now there's minus 35% Ethereum against Bitcoin after passage of proof of stake. When there aren't fundamental things are coming up. So people are realizing the space is moving. The venture capitalists will say that Ethereum and crypto was a test net for Bitcoin to keep pumping their funds, which that's what they do. But at least they will do it on top of Bitcoin, and the ecosystem will grow. One on our podcast, there was Vijay, the first episode. He said that he's bullish on DeFi on top of Bitcoin. You want to have on Sunday, you want to have some yield by risking a fraction of it. So all of these things are coming. I don't want to give credit to the crypto Ethereum ecosystem, but if they're smart enough to pivot, great things can be built on Bitcoin. As ThinkDraper says, there was the dot-com bubble, where there were hundreds of companies and they all failed, but just Microsoft or other two remained, and in the end, just Microsoft remained. I mean, there is the winner which takes all, and the winner is going to be Bitcoin. Yeah.
Well, we can see all roads lead to Bitcoin over time.
Yeah,
just over time. That's it. So we'll just here stack sats while we can. And how many people better get in quickly, because I think maybe in a year or two, when getting to one Bitcoin is going to be harder, a lot harder. Yeah.
The problem for the majority of people, I talk with in our space that much, a lot we talk about it, is that people you have scholars, you have academics, people who study a lot, engineers, and they think, everybody thinks that we come from a period in our society which was driven by the intellect of humans, like engineers. We had many infrastructure built, but we also made a lot of damage. But yeah, that's another thing. Anyway, this thing made believe all of these people who are in a position of power now to think that they can always have their voice to be better than somebody else. Then a random Satoshi Nakamoto, who nobody knows who he is. But of course, somebody from Stanford with a PhD, of course, can build another shitcoin, which of course is going to be better than because he's from Stanford now. So that's the kind of mindset which where the shitcoin stems from. Instead of studying Bitcoin, understanding that the Byzantine general problem was solved in a way after 30 years, which is unique. As soon as you change a bit, it doesn't work anymore. So it means that that equation has just X as a solution and cannot solve it in another way, cannot be Y, because it just doesn't work anymore. It doesn't. Equation should be right? They're the same. So they should understand that the power, or the property of the feature of Bitcoin, the value stays in the fact that it comes from natural laws, like the thermodynamics, the transfer of energy, electricity, the proof of work, which have been proved like the golden rush, effective for decades, like a scarcity of gold for millennia. And nobody from our age, even how many PhD he wants, but nobody can be superior to the power of physics, to the laws of nature, which where Bitcoin lies on. So if you have you're humble, you can acknowledge that either you're an academic or not, or a normal person like us, you really make a favor to yourself, because otherwise you're just gonna waste time and money, and other people's money, other people's time. So it will, shitcoin has been a big mess in the history of this space. It will always gonna be. There is no possibility to have another coin to be either decentralized without a proof of work, or solve the problem of the business in general, probably in a different way as Bitcoin does. Those two things are proven impossible by law of maths and physics. If you think you're smarter than a solution which solved the 30 years old problem, I think you are wrong. Otherwise, you should already have had the Nobel Prize. But clearly, these people didn't have. So it's better they give up. They finish to harm other people, the user. Some of them are honest. The majority are not, are dishonest. The honest are just people who don't know what they are doing, actually. And the dishonest people are people driven by scam and incentive. And so that's so sad to see. But with the Ethereum price crashing against Bitcoin, this is going to end. This is a certainty, just a matter of time. I don't give it to the Ethereum space more than 1.5 years anymore. When it's going to underperform massively in the next bull run, I think so. I give it 2 years, then that's all. I think they're all trying to, they will try to exit, and all, even the founders, that will be the end of it. Yeah.
Come across a lot of people as well that are into altcoins, and their reasoning to me is the reason why they're in those is because they can get more of a return on the on the upside, and then they're going to flip it into Bitcoin. And I'm scratching my head and I'm saying, but sure, Bitcoin will probably be 10 times more the price by then, if not more. You know what I mean? So where are you going to really be? Are you not better off getting, say, for every dollar you spend now, getting like whatever 1,500 Satoshis or whatever it is, rather than waiting like for 1.5 years or 2 years or 3 years before you get into Bitcoin? How does that make sense? You're buying something for $1, a 1 unit for $1, or 1 unit for $50 or $100. You know what I mean? When you can get, we all know that the best value digital asset out there is Bitcoin, and they'd agree with you when you say that. So why are they buying all this other rubbish?
Yeah,
Just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Moreover, there is also, well, there is a logical argument which few people grasp, because I don't know. I mean, you can just tell to these people, look at the coin market cap. You see, number one is Bitcoin, number two Ethereum, then you have Solana. But look at the price movement. I mean, when there is a pump, which one is the one to pump? We all know it's Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin moves first. It has been like this for 15 years. Then all of the rest follow later on in time. So which one is the best asset? I mean, if it moves first and you wanted to pick the others because you think you are going to pump more, you are making a grave mistake, which is assuming that they will pump. But it's not guaranteed. I mean, if Bitcoin pumps first, it means it's where the fundamentals are, where the value stays. The market recognizes that. Then it's not written anywhere that once you bet on the Solana coin, that coin is going to pump as a result of the first pump of Bitcoin. That's not guaranteed. It does. I mean, what is guaranteed is proven is that the Bitcoin has moved fast, so the first value. But very easily, like is happening in these months, is pumping less, or one day those won't pump at all. So moreover, by picking one, there's bit diverse from the Bitcoin, you are just trying to pick in the winner there. Maybe out of the other 100, you pick just the one who doesn't pump, which doesn't pump. So you're making mistakes in timing, in execution, in value acknowledgement of value, and everything. I mean, just that's basic markets and investment. If it's the first pump, it's because there's more value within. If you are differentiating,
that's why it's the best.
It's the best. If you're differentiating, trying to pick another one, you might be wrong. And also, it's not guaranteed it's going to pump. Otherwise, Ethereum would have pumped the first if it was better. So that's really nonsense.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Amazing. And then just the last question, right? Regarding who is your ideal user of BitVault? Yeah, and the specific groups or types of users who would benefit most from your solution?
I mean, that's as we had the chance to depict is a industry standard solution, setting the industry standard. I mean, that should be used by everyone. But of course, we have at the people who are less tech savvy, because there are people who are more prone to make mistakes. That's why BitVault will come out as a phone app, which will be very easy to use and very secure as well, to give opportunity to these people to have the maximum security with their fingertip, at their fingertip. And I think that the whales will come into BitVault, but maybe at a bit later stage, because of course the wallet is an evolution. First, there will be a beta, then there will be the white hat, there will be auditing, then it's more funds, and then getting traction, things, people analyzing the code, which is going to be open source, trying to find bugs, bounties. It will take some months, maybe 1 year or so, but eventually it will be secure for everyone. I just invite all of our listeners to head over to bitvault.com and to leave their email on the site to test the beta. You should test the beta because it's for free, and it gives you the opportunity to experience this utmost security we are going to deliver and feel like you have a bank vault into your phone. That's how I see things.
Okay, amazing. So if anybody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way, Francesco? Call out the website there and maybe your Twitter handle or whatever, your YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, I mean, the best way if I want to have information about BitVault is to head over to the site. There is the contact section, and just fill the form, leave an email, we'll get in touch with them. Also, they wanted to add me on Twitter. My name Twitter is at Ciccio Madonna, but I think you will put it there in the description. So say that if we have a very good podcast, go to storeofbitcoin.com, and there all of the recorded episodes. We have 20 so far. We had Jamie Slavish, we had Giacomo Zucco, Vijay, Sam Callan, all the best players this space, and more to come. And you can learn a lot from there. It's a educational focused space, podcast. And so we're going to a world in Bitcoin where you're going to have the best wallet, the best resources like this podcast as well. And also the conferences you're going to host in Dublin, and I hope I'm going to be there, or most likely I will be there. So we are going towards hyperbolic move in this space, because the institution there, BlackRock, doing the move it did, it's no joke. They control the finance of the world. They have trillions of dollars under management. Even 1% of them is massive. So things are going to change, and change fast. There will be the best outcome I like of Bitcoin is not others getting richer. Of course, I like it, but the quality of the people having more financial success, because Bitcoin is a smart thing, and is a thing which is against the incentive of traditional finance of corruption. Bitcoin is democratic. So in its essence, I mean, you count one node counts equal one node. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. One person is one person. And this thing leads to the real value to be enjoyed and liked by people who have good incentives in their life. So it's very rare. I think in these 7 years, I didn't find a true scammer in Bitcoin, because the scammer has another kind of incentive, which has to scam. He prints his token and tries to scam, but he cannot print Bitcoin. So there is no incentive for him to scam. So you can see the scammers and Bitcoin be really two separate things. And that's really healthy for the space. And that tells a lot what this financial cluster of holders, when Bitcoin is going to be $1 million, the quality of it, how it's going to be, is going to be massive. Because these people are people who have been vetted by Bitcoin, by aligning to his healthy incentive in a world which is, let's say, broken. The good people are heading towards a healthy technology. So that will leave a big footprint in the world in the foreseeable future.
Yeah. As we say, we don't change Bitcoin. Bitcoin changes us. Once you start learning about it, it changes us. And there's so many people from big industry, big corporate positions that just felt things weren't right. And then they discovered Bitcoin and they've exited out of that, and now they're in the whole Bitcoin community. So some amazing things happening in the future for the whole community and people that want to learn about it. Francesco, thank you for your time. Thanks for sharing all your amazing knowledge. And we hope to see you in person in Ireland at the Bitcoin Ireland conference in May of 2025. And thank you. And we'll drop all the links and everything, the description, everything for all your links in the description below. And if any of the viewers liked the podcast, give us a like and a share. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I confirm everything. It was such a pleasure. So see you in Dublin, and go to the listener to his conference. It's going to be great. Thank you all. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.